Village center. We were on the west side of the village, and I sort of think we might want to orphanage. You probably shouldn't be paying them a visit in the middle of the night. Just a thought. Okay, let's try to avoid some of these places, see if we can get to our homestead. It's a boulder here. A bolderness. South marshes. Now we want west. Can I sneak around? I'm just wondering if a random person is somewhere there. He might not react to us if we're sneaking. An inn, yeah. Oh, all wonderful places without doubt, but maybe a bit too soon. West path. Ooh, there's two passageways. The road and the stream. Let's try the road. Stream might be asking for trouble. They are dead here. Undead. Strange creature dead. What is going on? These creatures were slain by traps triggered into the nearby trees. All the traps appear to have been set up. The dead bodies look strangely familiar, as though you once knew them or once worked closely with them. Moist bone. This is a moist bone, still filled with marrow. You hope it is not one of yours. Though devouring it might provide you with some much needed healing. So there are healing items. Dull dagger. So it's a shit item, but at least we can use it. And there's a whole field of these people here. Might as well correct some of the items. Strange creature. Looks like a vampire. Damage male. I wouldn't be able to use it anyway. The fuck is that? Slanting dog.
Now you shall taste my power!
Yep. You summoned a Formian worker. Those suck. And undead. Kill it. I am regenerating, so it's not too bad. Also, fighting doesn't give you experience. Thing to remember. The winged creature appears to have died defending the road west. All the undead have been torn open and their weapons shattered. What winged creature? Yeah, a strange creature. It's a cargo. Take a couple extra bones with me. I have no idea how useful healing items these are, but we seem to be healing at a fairly brisk pace, so I'm not too worried about that. Your house. What is that? Injured vampire. Not much we can do.
darkness.
Memory cursed. Sacrifice. There's something special about this. The blade has only one power beyond its +1 enchantment bonus. The user of this sword may at any time choose to sacrifice a portion of their strength to raise the damage dealt by the blade for 30 seconds. Each time the blade is activated, it drains 10 hit points from the wielder and adds 5 points to the damage for the duration of the power. If the wielder is slain or the duration expires, the damage bonus is lost. And we get a memory cursed. I have encountered a strange undead creature outside my home. As we fought, I recalled a word that must be its name. Cursed. I remember nothing else of it, save a strong feeling that I am somehow responsible for the creation of this tortured creature. I hope that I will be able to discover and destroy the process by which such a creature could be made before I rest again. I understand what torment it must be for such undead, trapped as they are between life and death, mortality and immortality. If I am responsible for this, I must find out a way to make it right. We do need to rest no matter what though. Your house ruined output. Spot failure. That is worrisome. I think those checks would probably be better if they were hidden in a way. Workshop. Ooh, empty bottles. No reason to take them with us. It's yeah, better if we need supplies. We just come here. Alchemical gold transmuter Mark IV. Warning: read owner's manual before use. Transmuting small objects to gold has long been a problem for alchemists. Ordinarily, this process is long and complex, but no longer. Now, with the alchemic gold transmuter Mark IV, the process is a snap. Simply place unwanted objects in the machine and the rice imbued within it will do the rest. All you have to do is collect your newfound fortune. Please note that the Mark IV alchemic gold transmuter will not transmute objects worth 1000 gold imperials or more. Warning: the transmuter will attempt to change all items placed within it into gold, including, but not limited to, valuables, important documents, and living children. Okay, that is good to know. Do not place valuable or important items within the transmuter. Okay, in game terms, don't put in anything you might like back. So, not items that could be plot essential, no keys, no books, no maps, etc. The transmuter will not destroy things marked as plot items, but not everything that you may need is marked as plot by the engine. Use at your own risk. Okay. Fair warning given. Ooh. Treaties in praise of Belladonna. Alchemy Rite. While the belladonna leaf is powerfully toxic to the living, its juices will knit the flesh of the reanimated dead when combined in an empty bottle and dropped onto dead flesh. If properly mixed in a grinder, belladonna and empty bottle will make a powerful healing potion. No is necessary since juice of 2 belladonna leaves will suffice. So, surely we don't have to carry these with us. I'm sure we just need to read. Once we read it, we can just leave it. So 2 belladonna and a bottle is creates a healing potion of a sort. Tome of treatises. This is a book of alchemical treatises detailing how to create a variety of items using the tools in the workshop. Unfortunately, a number of pages have been ripped from it. If you could find them, perhaps you could repair the tome. So that's the point. Insert treatise. Carefully stitch the pages back into the book's spine. And gives you a little bit of experience. Alchemical grinder. Alchemist's lab is where you once created the potions, powders, and bombs used for healing throughout this area of the world. Now you wonder if you could bend these tools to a more focused purpose, creating elixirs that could aid rather than harm your undead form. Each item requires a specific combination of herbs, gemstones, and other ingredients. Given your loss of memory, experimentation may be the only way to create such items, unless you could find a book or scroll that details their creation. Placing the proper items in the grinder will produce potions, items, and powders without needing to know the exact alchemical rite to produce them. Okay. Hmm. So one was bottle and 2 belladonna leaves. Potion of cause light wounds, so it's basically cure light wounds for us. Maybe more belladonna could make more powerful potions. Forge. Finely crafted longsword. Can't use it. Chainmail. Bars of iron, so probably transmutation. Why is this building ruined? Friendly for reasons. So, let's visit our home, see what happens. Construct. Ooh. Oh, 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 oh. It's probably keeping our house secure. Excellent. So this could be a place to rest. Can I rest here? I returned to my home to search for clues. Upon entering, I discovered that the house had been ransacked, though none of the valuables or equipment has been taken. Someone was looking for something specific. I also remember two important things. First, I kept many notes around my house on alchemy that may be of use to me now. And second, I also booby-trapped everything of value as a safeguard against thieves and rival alchemists. What sort of paranoia could have driven me to trap my own home? I invested carefully. I await the return of my power stone before I complete any task. Where can I find this power stone? I do not know. You removed it 68 days, 6 hours, and 32 seconds ago. Return it to me and I can aid you once more. Hmm. Well. I'd really like the pixie, but it's not. This thing not allowed. Let's try the Bone of the Cold. Um, hmm, 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 hmm. Not much we can do. Just ooh, Ended and Rusty Dirt. Never even occurred to me to. Oh, great. I'll take the torch. Thank you. Oh, maggots and worms drop from your flesh. Lovely. Ah, at least some light. Miss Pixie, fuck you. Just ram through the traps. Blank scrolls on Revenants, mortality and the theoretical processes. Treatise of disappearance. Hmm. Could I use a healing potion on her? Probably yes, but probably also don't want to. Yeah, belladonna. Quite a lot of it. Entrails. These still warm organs were ripped from a living animal. When eaten, they provide limited nourishment to the undead. Lovely. Gems. Probably need to hold on to those. More, yeah, transmutation ingredients. Take the jewelry with me. Okay, what did we find? Based on some of my old notes, I believe that by grinding quartz and any one of several kinds of gems will produce a dust that will render any object it is sprinkled on invisible. That might be a nice ability to learn. Since fighting isn't rewarded, just being able to go in and out might be much use. Did find a couple of books, and the game says it's very important to read books. So on Revenants. We can probably just use them to gain the experience and read them in our journal. Okay, Revenants. From On the Nature and Origin of Revenants. Revenants are vengeful spirits that have risen from the grave to destroy their killers. The Revenant appears to be a spectral, decayed version of its appearance at the time of its death. Its pallid skin is drawn tightly over its bones. The flesh is cold and clammy. The sunken eyes are dull and heavy-lidded, but when the Revenant faces his intended victim, the eyes blaze with unnatural intensity. The Revenant bears an aura of sadness, anger, and determination. Under exceptional circumstances, a person who has died a violent death may rise as a Revenant from the grave to wreak vengeance on his killers. It is impossible to predict exactly who will rise as a Revenant, though it is typically those with great force of will and personality in life that return from the dead. Although it is undead, the Revenant is motivated by self-will. Therefore, as it is not inherently evil, it cannot be turned by a priest. nor can it be raised or resurrected. Revenants are immune to acid, but vulnerable to fire. They show remarkable resilience against destruction, possessing prodigious regenerative powers. In addition to rising repeatedly until they have exactly justice upon their killers, I assume they have exacted justice upon their killers. They also possess all of the strengths of ordinary undead, but few of their weaknesses. Okay, immortality and its theoretical practice. The process by which a mortal might become immortal could only be the result of fell rites and magic. Devine, divine energy, or positive energy, by its very nature can only maintain life, not prolong it. Because positive energy is linked to the soul, and the soul is inextricably linked to the underworld and afterlife, there is no way for a mortal in possession of a soul to become immortal. However, through the careful application of negative energy, it is theoretically possible to destroy a mortal's soul, thus breaking their link with death and the underworld, and actually preventing them from reaching the afterlife. Of course, any such process would be in direct defiance of the natural order of things, and should thus be avoided at all costs. Other solutions may exist, but they almost certainly would require the destruction of one or several innocent souls, thus are even worse than the alternative. I'm sure it'll all come and together at some point. There's a basement, some upstairs, and some other room. I don't want to proceed too quickly. I'm pretty sure I won't be able to spot traps. And our spot checks are terrible. Of alchemy and arcanum of ancient civilizations. Alchemy and arcanum. Alchemy differs from arcane magic in two significant ways. First, it requires absolutely no magic. It is simply the process of trading one thing for another thing. Lead for gold, dust for water, even life for death. If an alchemist knows the proper combinations, he can create practically anything, even it has been theorized, a mortal soul. The second significant difference is that alchemists are not bound by the so-called laws of magic, which prevent a wizard from casting more than a certain number of spells each day. Of course, most alchemic rites take a monumental amount of time and effort to prepare, and are thus arguably no better or worse than a wizard's spell. Ancient civilizations. This book tells of the civilization that once occupied the area around the village. You notice a passage that speaks of a long ago fortress that stood to the southeast of the village, and of the ancient holds. The last to fall was the keep of Gabanoir. Though the gorge made direct attacks on it difficult, the Black Scourge was not deterred by it, and flew upon wings of pure shadow to seize the fortress from its masters. Since that day the Black Scourge and her ogre lackeys have controlled the ancient fortress. They do not come unto the villagers of the Northlands, however, for fear of the Northmen who live there. Oh fuck, an entire library. Search failure. Search failure. Success. I guess you get the extra blank scrolls, spell scrolls on Revenants. Can I learn it again? Yeah. shield spell. Again, it's very soon to be obsoleted because Ghost. What was it? Jesus Christ. I don't recall the name of the spell, but second level spell that provides immunity to fatigue missiles too, and is a very good protection spell in general. So there isn't much use for the shield spell anymore. Yeah, at least we have a handful of blank scrolls now. Also a handful of second level spells. Seven Deaths of Torkal, this is an important one. It was mentioned in the game instructions. Living Flame. A recent discovery in the far northern climes of Aelor, living flames appear as normal fires for most of their lives. However, unlike normal fire, these creatures, if they can rightly be called that, do not burn out when their source of fuel is exhausted. Instead, the living flame is a fire that has made semi-permanent link to the elemental plane of fire. Once such a link has been established, it is difficult to undo, making the living flame extremely dangerous, as it is not truly a living creature. Only blowing it out or freezing it will have any effect on it. And both of these methods often result in breaking the flame into smaller fires with nearly as much damaging force. Alchemic rites. Certain alchemic rites can be scribed down upon other surfaces to speed up their use. Such rites are powerful in the hands of any creature, but in the hands of a trained alchemist they can create flame without fuel, turn water to stone, and even raise the dead. Yeah, we've definitely done that in the graveyard. Okay, the seven deaths. Seven deaths of Torkal. When the knight known as Torkal was slain in battle against his ancient rivals, the Deathless Seven, he returned from the dead. He did this of his own will, thus making him the first Revenant ever reborn on Aelor. And he rose and stalked his killers, slaying each. But at the death of each they also slew Torkal until he had died 7 times over. And thus was it said that all revenants could return from death but 7 times. After the seventh death or a revenant, it shall return from the underworld no more, and be forever consigned to the afterlife. Not sure if that's gonna have any relevance. I mean, I'm fairly likely to just load if things go catastrophically wrong. Someone has been burning paper in the fire. Burned my journal to be exact. Your burned journal. This is your journal. Someone has tried to burn it, but a few entries still remain intact. Entry 1. Lord Mayor Chilton has agreed to fund my alchemic research for the next year, under the condition that I give him first rights to anything I produce. Entry 45. I have found a way to tap into the plane of negative energy without the use of arcane magic. This is a breakthrough that will revolutionize magic and make me a very rich person. There's no way I can share this with Chilton or my partner. He would only take it for himself. Entry 62. Chilton has discovered I'm keeping research from him. How, I don't know, but I may be in danger from him. Must take steps to raise some protection for myself, whatever the cost. Okay, that would probably be the attempt to raise an undead creature to protect me. Burned scrap of paper. This burned scrap of paper still has some writing on it. It appears to be the lower half of a letter to you. Cannot help but think you are keeping something from me. Our backers demand results, and if I do not produce them, we will pay a high price. Consider this with care. Signed, Lord Matai. Hmm, that's probably our partner. I have found the buried remains of my journal in my house. From what I can piece together, Mayor Chilton was funding my research in exchange for first rights to anything I produced. I now remember that I made some sort of breakthrough into the alchemical properties of negative energy. Due to the magnitude of this discovery, I did not report it to Chilton. Somehow he discovered it, and I was apparently afraid for my life. I remember no more, but one thing is certain. Chilton will have the answers I seek. The journal also makes mention of my business partner, but I have no memory of them. Perhaps one of my other papers. Okay, partner. I have found a burned strip of paper with my partner's name on it. Lord Matai. It provides no clues as to where I can find my partner, however. Hmm. We are starting to gather up all these papers, and I'm inclined to dump them in some kind of central place. Uh, okay. Front door, back door, basement, stairs up, alchemy supplies. What is this? Just a door. I think I'd rather go upstairs first if I can help it. Homunculus. Don't go into the trap. Fine alchemical tunic. Well, it's better than my wrappings, I guess. Old letter. Old love letter. This note is yellow to the touch, but somehow just holding it makes you feel better. My dear, I cannot tell you how much you have come to mean to me. While I know you intend to leave Zelantris to explore the eastern reaches that you have studied so long, I cannot allow you to leave without telling you this. I love you. I will always love you, and neither death nor distance will end that love. If you will have me, I will travel with you as your companion, friend and lover. If not, go with my love and eternal respect. Forever yours, S. You should keep this note with you. Okay? Thank you for telling me, game. Homunculus. This tiny creature looks up at you without a trace of an expression on its face as you approach. You recognize it as your homunculus, a creature created through dark alchemic practices and bound to your soul. So long as you live, no force can slay this creature. I have a task that requires your help. Follow me. The creature nods. Your whim is my law, master. Um, let's take a proper look at it. True neutral undead. Has shitty attributes. Unarmed weapon. Attack bonus +1. There's nothing particularly good about this. At the same time, it's a extra target for people to attack. Let's regenerate. Can I talk to it? Talk. What can you tell me about the person who broken into my house? Nothing, master. I lay senseless until you return from the dead. My life force is tied directly to your own. Thus, while you are dead, I am dead. Should I name it? I would like to name you. I wish that you could, master, but I have not been properly prepared for naming. If you were to name me now, it would simply have no effect. How would I prepare you for naming? You would have to find a way to make me a full being. That is, I would need to be empowered by more alchemy and more of your soul than you used to create me in the first place. I imagine a properly prepared rune work would allow you to channel the necessary energy into me. I don't remember how to create such runes. Perhaps we can find some that someone else created. Yes, let's talk about something else. Okay, that's probably why he's sort of worthless at the moment. Because it was, again, one of the game rules was that the companions don't level up. They increase in power when you do their quests. So, assume that is part of it. Let's go upstairs, people. More traps. Channeling dark powers on negative energy. Channeling dark powers. Quartz is a powerful focal point for alchemy, but nothing draws the powers of blood and bone like copper. It ties to both metal and the blood of mortal, makes it a perfect conduit for channeling the powers of darkness. While dangerous, I believe it may be possible to combine quartz and copper as a focal point for negative energy. If properly harnessed, it might be possible to use this energy as a weapon. And that would make us very evil. Not sure what it matters in the end. Negative energy. The effects of negative energy. The plane of negative energy and the process by which undead are raised using it are subjects that are taboo outside of all but the darkest clerical orders. It has long been suspected that negative energy, that is, the essence of the dead, could be used to prolong the life of a mortal indefinitely. After all, this is essentially what a priest does when he raises undead to do his bidding. The significant difference is, of course, free will. Zombies and skeletons lack free will because they were raised through someone else's application of negative energy to their bodies. But what if one used negative energy on oneself? Could this result in a sort of free-willed undead? Alas, we may never know, as no cleric would ever dare make the attempt, and no alchemist yet knows of the method. I don't know. Third level. Definitely need to stick with wizardry. We probably want to get at least access to third level spells, then we can worry about multi-classing with something else. More lore, spellcraft, sure. I think I'll take more conversation skills. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a mix of everything. We're not going to be great at anything, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Empower a spell. Sure, it's always useful. Where's the spell I was thinking about? Well, we want summon a creature to, for the simple reason that that's all our combat capability at the moment. Various type of summoning creatures. Invisibility. No, actually, I won't do that yet. Invisibility would be great. No, not yet. But it's still great. Ghostly Visage. Caster is surrounded by a ghostly nimbus of light that grants damage protection, 5 against normal weapons, prevents all spells of level 1 or lower from affecting the caster, grants 10% concealment. So this is great if we want to just protect ourselves for a fight against certain probabilities. Very, very, very good. Hmm. Any conjuration abilities? Maybe one of the... No, not even darkness. Ghoul talk. Knocking might be a nice thing to know. But with the pixie, that's probably not mandatory at the moment. Ah, Mills acid arrow. Yeah, that's not bad at all. I think I'll take summoning. Yeah. A light blinds you as your soul struggles within you, attempting to escape the prison of rotten flesh it is confined to. Your will is yet sufficient to contain it, but as it does, memories rise to the surface of your consciousness like oil to the surface of water. Images flash through your mind as you struggle to focus and remember parts of your life. If you concentrate on one image, you might remember more of it, but doing so will make that memory fully part of yourself. They say that alchemy can never transmute one object into something it is not, though it can reshape it. What memories you choose to remember may yet reshape your soul. So it's not just, yeah, I guess it's like the difference between this and just learning it is if you just learn something about yourself, in a way it would be like, let's say something horrific. Uh, you stabbed a knife into an innocent. Learning about it would be, I guess, just more or less a description of what happened and what you did, maybe even why you did it. This would be the memory, you actually remembering it and the experience becoming part of you. So basically, like it would be the same as if you would actually do the deed, and it would change you as a consequence. So I guess there's some danger in what we choose to remember, and we have 10 choices. So images of yourself reading in front of a fire, picturing yourself as a young child, library, scent of mold, you in a dark wood at night, image of massive liver covered device, altar covered in ashes, standing over a body. Yeah, okay. I think we might get that experience. Field filled with dead bodies, image of a fat, well-dressed man. Focus on a dark castle that sits on a rocky outcropping. Um, or maybe the image of a fat, well-dressed man, because it might be memories of one of the people we are trying to find. So, as you start to focus on this image, you feel rage, frustration, and hate rush through you. It is as though you have tapped into an animal instinct buried beneath your mortality. Do you wish to continue? Yes. Memory of Lord Chilton. Your alignment has shifted 5 towards evil. You suddenly recall this man's name, Lord Sal Chilton, the mayor of the village, and once your business partner. You despise him, for he has tried 3 times to cut you out of the alchemy business. You who did the research, you who first understood the nature of negative energy and its relationship to alchemy, you who deserve the power this offers. You wish you had the power to teach him the lesson he so richly deserves. Your soul settles back under your control once more. You feel stronger for having recalled what you did, and the energy of your discovery rushes through you. How do you wish to focus your newfound resolve? Okay. I guess we can gain attribute points. Probably more intelligence to get bonus spell slots. At the same time, yeah. Ability to reason and recall information. Feel more intelligent. Lord Chilton. I remembered an old rivalry between myself and Lord Salt Chilton. I strongly wished for his death, but at the time, I lacked the power to bring it about. Perhaps in the future I'll have a chance, though for now, I will simply appreciate the abilities that the memory has returned to me. Yes. Alchemy of Dark Powers. Hmm. I'll go through the upper stairs and I think I'll end it there. Seems because yeah, there's a lot to take in. Actually, I'm ending it here because we can't go through the traps without the pixie, and because we leveled up, we lost a familiar. Another love letter. This letter was clearly written by a lover you had while alive. It details several nocturnal acts that, were you not a rotten corpse, would be quite interesting to you. Yeah. Ah, that is enough for now. I think the game seems to be fairly slow to get going, but at the same time, this is this is clearly not hack and slash. It's meant to be as more of an adventure for you. Oh fuck! When did I save the last time? Um, I accidentally made a recall point next to my own grave, so that's no good. I don't want to walk back here. Ooh, we got a level, so we can get new spells. Sleep is good against living summon creature 1, probably a worthless piece of crap at this point. I'll take another, maybe color spray. No, I'll take another sleep. Summon creature 2, ghostly visage. So at least we have some combat capability now. Definitely I'm relying on others for a while. Not sure what to do with the rest of my attribute points. Worry about that some other time.